Hey everybody, Jochen Hayden here, and I'm back with the Desert Wolf versus Wirraway. Scenario 1 with stacking limits, War in the Pacific campaign. This is the 26th of October 1942, combat replay and analysis. Let's go. Okay, here we go. October 26th, 1942, Desert Wolf versus Wirraway. Alright, so we're nighttime here, and our coast watchers, well, not mine, his coast watchers are reporting some ships in port. Alright, so we got some nighttime operations here. His PBYs are spotting some stuff. Okay, no night bombing at all this turn. Pretty quiet so far. Okay, we got some daylight now. Coast watchers are back at work. Alright, let's see if we get some naval action here. Wow, nothing so far. Okay, so looks like the Japanese are sweeping over this hex here in preparation for an attack, I assume. Okay, now we got Desert Wolf doing some sweeps over Tungi. And you're probably going to see a few of these. Right, more of the same here. Looks like the Japanese are really scoping out Darwin. Oh, I think my mic cut out. You didn't miss much. I was talking to myself for about a minute. Okay. So now he's got some Sonias hitting Chong. So this is very interesting. DesertWolf swept over Tungi, right? But why is he not flying Cap? I'm curious about this. If he knows they might be bombing it, where's the Cap fighters at? It's like he swept it but didn't cap it. I don't know. Okay, another raid on Baton. And now DesertWolf is bombing Tunki, and there's no Japanese Cap. I don't get these guys. I don't get it. They should put some Cap in here. See, now we got a sweep, but they've already missed the fun, you know? They're late to the party. And the reason you're seeing these fragments is it's lack of coordination from the initial sweep, because these squadrons have 25 fighters each. You saw 22 and 3. 22 and 3. It's just like stragglers coming in after the fact. And these are the ones that always get shot up because they don't have any help. Okay, looks like DesertWolf's starting to scope out Macon Atoll. And again, another sweep. These guys love sweeps, but they don't like the Cap, I guess. I'm learning. I'm taking notes here. What's up with the sweeps? Alright, that's the AM phase. Now we're going to go into the PM phase here. So the PBYs are back out, spotting some stuff. Here we go, here we go. Another sweep. And another sweep. Guys, how about some Cap? Put some long-range Cap up or something. Another one. Oh my goodness. I don't get the sweeps. Why don't I just cap it? Look at these guys. Look at these little guys. These Chinese P-66s. Vanguard. They're flying at Akya. What are these guys doing? And some more. Again with the sweeps. Why? See, now if the look at the size of this bombing range. Jeez. If the Japanese had put up some Cap, well, I guess the sweeps would have killed the Cap, right? I don't know. I'm trying to rationalize the thought process of guys much better than I am at this game, so I shouldn't even try to figure it out. So DW here is attacking the base, trying to stop fort building. Okay, so it looks like one B-26 was actually destroyed by flak. Very little real damage got done here from what I can see, despite this large raid. The heavy rain probably playing a role there. Wow, look at this. That's impressive. So this raid has similar results. It's the weather. It's got to be the weather really hampering things here. All right. More the same. These are kind of lackluster results. More bombers coming in. Jeez, it just keeps coming and coming. My goodness. Alright, well, these raids individually are not so great, but when you add them all up, they probably do a fair amount of damage to the base. Hey, some more hurricanes coming in, because why not? Better late than never. Okay, some more Blenheims making their way in. I guess they were too busy with tea time and they didn't take off with everybody else. These guys take a loss by flak, some damage, but get some hits. More Blenheims. And another one lost by flak. What altitude is he coming in at? That may not be the right call here. He's losing Blenheims due to flak. This is pretty low. It puts him well within range of some of the medium caliber stuff. That might explain why we're taking so many Blenheim losses here. Okay, got some more stuff coming in. Wow, look at that. Destroyed by flak. And again, coming in pretty low. And this 5,000 feet, you're gonna be exposed to a lot more flak than you would being in higher. But it's a trade-off, right? You get more flak damage, but you get better accuracy from your bombs. Oh man, there's even more. Some liberators coming in to hit this place. Well, this is further down here. These guys are bombing from much higher up. 11,000 feet. And this is at near Tungu. Back to Tongi. These guys escaped the flak this time. And some old school B-17Ds making an appearance. Man, they got some of these left, huh? These are from the beginning of the campaign. You get these B-17Ds, and you don't get any more. So the fact that he's been able to preserve this many B-17Ds this far into the campaign is pretty cool. Hey, let's throw in a P-38 sweep while we're at it, because we love to sweep. Wow, that was a very eventful air phase. Okay, so now we're getting into the tail end of the turn. We should be going into ground combat here shortly. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we get any ground combat this turn. Oh, here we go. We get an attack. This seems a bit ill-advised, I would think. But you never know. Let's see what he does. Yeah, doesn't look like it's, yeah. It's kind of what I expected here. Well, okay, I take that back. This went differently than I thought it would. So, let's look at this real quick. The Japanese are attacking with an inferior force as far as it's pertains to troop count, but we've got more guns and vehicles. The assault values are more or less equal. When the game spits out the calculation, it determines that the adjusted assault value is going to be this, a 1 to 2 advantage, or a 1 to 2 ratio in favor of the Chinese. And here's the terrain is definitely helping the Chinese, but they're low on supply here. So the end result we get here is a 3-to-1 casualty rate in favor of the Japanese. So it does appear that, as DesertWolf told me recently, you have to fight when you're playing stacking limits. You have to deal with quality over quantity. So yes, the Chinese can have a lot of troops here, but they're not very good troops, and the Japanese troops are a lot better. So this is what you get from that, right? And if you look at it, very little destroyed stuff for the Japanese player, and there's a little bit more for the Chinese. So this could take some time to dislodge, right? But the Chinese player can't keep this up forever. The Japanese player can do this longer because they're taking way less casualties every time. All right, so now he's bombarding Epatante. Yeah, he's really starting to see that. He's really eating into these squads now. I think he needs to try and attack soon. I don't think he realizes that he can actually probably wipe these guys out if he tried. Okay, we have a bombardment attack in this hex. This is another one of those hexes where the Japanese player is going to be pretty much stonewalled. And despite that, the Japanese player does get some casualties inflicted here. Okay, Allied bombardment attack at Tongi. Now we actually get a look at what the Japanese player has in this hex. And they got softened up pretty good due to the bombing raids, right? So let's take a look here. So it looks like they got one full division. Alright. Interesting. It looks like the Allied player got the worst of that, but not by much. So here's what we got. The Allies have 3 cavalry regiments, an Australian infantry division, 1, 2, 3, 4 armored brigades. In this case, I would think that the Allies actually have a distinct advantage in terms of troop quality. Right? These are better units than what the Japanese have here. And that incessant bombing by the Japanese is really going to start wearing that down. Okay, looks like we had a fort and a port. A fort and a port go up a little bit. Refitting some AKs, huh? I'm hitting the space key on my keyboard to speed through some of these messages. DesertWolf suggested I do it to kind of speed this up a little bit. Seems to work. Okay, we got some new stuff coming on map here. Oh, those supply convoys are really good. I'll show you that in the analysis. Okay, there's the turn. Let's analyze it now. Okay. Interesting turn. Let's look at it. Okay, aircraft losses for these guys. 7 for the Allies, 4 for the Japanese. Looks like there's quite a bit of ops losses today. So a couple C-47s went down. 2 Blenheim shot down by flak. A B-25 and a B-26 shot down by flak. And that's because they're flying a bit lower than normal. Well, what's normal? They're flying a bit lower. Okay. So looking at the army loss points, they did tick up a little tiny bit here, but not much for the Allied player. A little bit of ground combat in China helped out with that. Ship sunk last turn, nothing. Man, I wish I could have ship sunk numbers as low as this. So the overall points spread is right here. Obviously, Wirraway is still in the lead here, but not enough to get an auto victory. Let's talk about the SIGINT. I took a look at that for you guys already, and here's a couple notable things. 13th Tank Regiment loaded on a Yusen class AK moving to Shanghai. Why? So he's moving a tank regiment from who knows where to Shanghai. presumably to add reinforcements to China. Is all I could guess. So he's bringing them in probably from here. And he'll probably rail them up to wherever he wants another armored regiment. What else we got here? Oh, look at this. A construction regiment, a battalion moving to truck. I think that's the second turn we've seen mention of him moving stuff to truck. I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to build up here at this point. The base seems pretty well built up, so he may be redistributing that somewhere else. It's hard to say. And then the last thing that I noticed that was interesting was the a radio call, radio transmissions at 10860. And I've seen this before in my campaigns too. 10860 is right here. So all I can assume is this is an outbound or inbound convoy. So it's good for the allied player to know that something is coming out or going into here, so he knows to cover the routes, right? Okay, that's it for the SIGINT. For the ops, there's a few things I want to show you. The operations report. It looks like we have a pretty large-scale air transport mission going on at Abamama, which is in Gilbert Islands. So the USMC air headquarters of some sort and a naval construction battalion is being transported into Abamama. Abamama? Am I saying that right? Here it is. So this would be one of the northernmost bases in the Gilbert Island chain that DesertWolf now owns. So he's just hopscotching his way up the islands here, and looks like at this point he's definitely wanting to build this base up, get it functional, and then from there he can continue moving troops north and continuing his attack up the island chain here. Tara was probably his next likely location. I don't know, he doesn't tell me, but I would think this is where he's going to want to go in next, is Tarawa. And having a base here, he can just shuttle bombard this thing all day with aircraft and with ships once he puts some AKEs and stuff in here. So here's those units that he's bringing in. The CBs, which are great for terraforming islands. And then this USMC unit here, which is going to be great for supporting aircraft on the island. Yeah, what this is, this is an actual command HQ from what I can see. Oh no, Air HQ. I'm sorry, Air HQ. I guess it just says HQ because it's split up and doesn't have the A by the HQ. All right. Okay, so check this out. Let me show you this now. This is very telling. I wasn't really tracking this before, but now I am. These Chinese units isolated with no supply. That's going to be up here in this section. We'll talk about that in just a second. But it drew my attention to this. I would not have realized it had I not seen that in the ops report. These guys are in trouble. All right, last thing I want to show you for ops this turn is check this guy out. Pilot Kramer C is reported to have been, or is reported to as, I can't read today, is reported as to have escaped capture. That is very cumbersome English. Is reported as to have escaped capture. I don't know who talks like that, but I don't. And I can't read like that either, I guess. But let's take a look at Kramer C. So if we go to all, and we sort by name, we can find, here's Kramer C, Lieutenant Colonel. Wow, this guy's no joke. He is coming back this month. He had 57 missions and 1 air kill. Well, I'm not exactly sure when he was shot down or why, but wherever he was at, he had initially been listed as captured, and now he's back. So now you get a pilot back. You do see this every now and then in these games. It's not often, but every now and then a pilot does escape capture and you get him back. So that's pretty cool. All right, let us talk about the situation, and we'll start with China. Okay, so remember I talked about the ops report. This is where we had a land battle last turn, and take a look at this. I didn't realize this, but these Chinese troops have a serious supply problem. And if you look at some of these statistics here, these units are about close to cracking. Their disruption is 92, 41. It's amazing they're still holding their position. I think part of that's due to their very high morale here. But this whole conglomeration of troops is really just hanging on by a thread. So the Japanese player doesn't actually have to do too much more here to dislodge these guys. The whole Chinese position up here is very low on supply. See the supply levels here? Lan Chao's all backed up with fuel, but has almost no supply. So that Japanese player is actually pretty close to probably breaking through here. Now, granted, he's going to have a large slog because there's still a lot of units north of here, right? There's 1,000 AV there, 500 there. There's quite a bit of troops up here, but they don't have supply. And I'm pretty sure that while the Japanese player is not doing a whole lot better on supply, he's probably got more than the Chinese do, because the Chinese are cut off from creating supply, right? Lan Chao can't get fuel to Chungking where the industry's at, and they're not getting any supply through the Burma Road because it's blocked. So China really has no real supply generation capability in itself. So while the troops look good on paper, they just don't have what they need to stay in the field effectively. Let's take a look at this hex too. See, we're already having supply shortages in this hex, and this is one of his strongest blocking positions, right? Let's look here. More supply issues. More supply issues. So supply is going to become a serious issue if it isn't already for DesertWolf in China. And while he's put on a good defense and he's stacking limits are definitely helping him, he can't just make supply come out of thin air. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a breakthrough up here pretty soon. Over here in Burma, still a lot of activity. We do have non-stop bombing raids going into Tongyi right now. And actually, if you look at the airfield damage, that's pretty substantial. And it's going to be more than he can probably repair, Wirraway can repair in one turn. So if he was building forts here, they're not building. All right, all the engineer efforts go into just fixing this stuff first. And you have to imagine these guys are pretty well cut off from supply flowing through here, because there's a lot of units in here needing supply. These bombing raids are starting to take effect. This is what DesertWolf has available here, and this is a pretty strong force. It's a lot of armor. So I would assume that these guys are going to be pretty effective when they do attack. We also see some more units on the move in here, some more artillery and a combat engineer unit, which will help in the upcoming fight. One thing I don't see here that I think he should probably try to get is a core headquarters or something bigger to manage this battle. I don't see any headquarters nearby, and it would really help him if he could find one to bring in there. Not the end of the world, but every little bit helps, right? And the other thing that I think is very interesting here is a complete lack of cap at any of these bases. Like, neither one of them are flying cap missions. They're just flying sweeps. And I know I'm new. I haven't been playing that long, but I feel like that's a big hole in the game here. Like, why are they not capping over this base? Even long-range cap, or putting the cap like in Mandalay and just giving it a max range of 2 and get some leaky cap in here. Like, no one is challenging the bombing raids. They're just sweeping, but the sweeps aren't getting anything. I don't know. Maybe DesertWolf will come over to Discord and tell me why he's sweeping and not capping. There's got to be a good reason for it that I'm missing. Okay, all of this is already conquered, so not much to see. All of Australia, nothing going on down here at all. Nice and quiet. I wish my campaigns could be nice and quiet down here. Look at that. 0 disruption to convoys. Well, for one, there isn't any convoys, and 2, even if there were, it does not appear that Wirraway's in a position to challenge them anymore, which is pretty cool. Not a whole lot going on out here. We still have a ship sighted at Tulagi, but it's probably like a minesweeper or something. Okay, and this is the other place where I believe we're going to have an active front soon, and this is the Gilbert Islands. DesertWolf did tell me when he was giving me the synopsis of this campaign that he is looking to continue this offensive down here. And we can see that he's actually stacking stuff up and getting some ships kind of ready here. Look at this. Look at this base. A lot of ships there. Look at all these task forces. Man, look at all these subs. Look at them all. What I wouldn't give to have all these subs. Look at this task force. Man. He's got a lot of stuff down here. So as you can see, he is definitely planning for something over here. I don't know what, but he's got some troops. He's got lots of planes. Look at these planes. Right? He's building up this base. So if I were a betting man, I'd say Tara was the next target. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that. I think that's it for this turn. Yeah, so all the action right now is mainly focused in Burma and China. So in Burma, I feel like DesertWolf might be starting to get the upper hand here. He's got a lot of troops in place. He's got tons of aircraft, right? But over here, I can definitely see Wirraway starting to get the upper hand on DesertWolf because Wirraway effectively blocked the supply for DesertWolf, right? He cut the Burma road. He's cut the fuel supply from Lanchow. So now Chungking can't make any real supply with the heavy industry because that takes fuel. Light industry can give you, I think it's like 1 supply a day. Heavy industry can give you 2 a day, but it needs fuel to do it. And resources, right? So resources, there's plenty. But if you don't have fuel to process this stuff, it's just not going to get made. And all these units need supply. So Wirraway's done a good job cutting the supply off in China, and slowly but surely he's making ground up here. And pretty soon he's going to take this base and he'll be within striking distance of Lanchow. But honestly, it doesn't even matter if he takes Lanchow or not, because he's already accomplished the mission that he needed to do, which was cut the fuel supply from Lanchow down to Chungking. So that's the turn. Oh, yeah, I want to show you something else that I just saw too before we go. So you guys remember Force Z, right? The Prince of Wales, the Repulse, and those destroyers and stuff. Well, we know that the Prince of Wales was sunk near Buitenzorg in December of 1941, but I just found the Repulse. Check this out. Look where it's at. Does that look familiar to you guys? The Repulse is somehow up at ADAC with a lot of the standards. So look at what we got here. This is really cool. If we sort this, we've got 2 CVEs. So the Long Island and the Copiahe. We've got a ton of standards, right? Look at them all. We have Sodak, which is actually one of the Allies' more modern, fast battleships that you're going to get in 1942. So he's already got this guy up here, which is a very capable battleship, by the way. This is no joke. And the Repulse. And the Warspite. All up at ADAC. So I think I found the source of why there's so much damage on Attu Island. It's probably these battleships up here working these out. So obviously we missed the reconquest of the Aleutian Islands, but I assume these battleships were used to bombard and take these islands back. And that would also explain the amount of AKEs that we see here, right? These guys are being used to actually resupply and rearm the battleships because this rearm level may not be enough for 16-inch guns. So still pretty cool that we found the Repulse up here in Alaska. So from here, right, all the way up to here. I think that's pretty cool. This game is amazing. How you can just kind of rewrite history and end up with British battleships in the Aleutian Islands. Anyway, I just thought that was cool. I wanted to show it to you guys. So other than that, I want to thank you guys for watching this video and supporting my channel and DesertWolf These videos so far have been getting great views, good comments, so I hope you're enjoying it. I'm really having fun watching this, so I'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll look at October 27th combat replay, and for what I'm hearing from DesertWolf, it's going to be a good one. See you guys then.